together.
I'm glad we found each other.
I'm not hugging you.
What's good, everyone? It's Chris Itzwa here, coming at y'all with another review. Not a movie review this time. This time we're talking about Netflix, a Netflix miniseries, and that review is for the series Marvel's The Defenders, the team-up event that's the accumulation of 4 individual character shows we've seen, which are, of course, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the Iron Fist, all coming together in the team-up called The Defenders, which is, of course, similar to what we saw with the Avengers all the way back in 2012. Now, I've never made a review or video talking about my thoughts on the Netflix shows. Just to give a quick rundown of what I thought about each individual show, I thought Daredevil Season 1 was great. Jessica Jones, I thought that might be my personal favorite of all of these. I thought that was just a really, really interesting and twisted show. Daredevil Season 2 wasn't as good as Season 1, but it was still an entertaining show, still great fights and whatnot. Luke Cage was fantastic, but I think Iron Fist, I share the opinion that a lot of other people have, that show just was not up to snuff and was really the ugly duckling of all of the other shows, which were, of course, great. Iron Fist, not so much, but that still didn't dampen my anticipation for the Defenders, this great event that's coming up, the team up of all these heroes. And for me, what I thought about is that I thought that this was a very effective team-up character fight, whatever you want to call it. Great team-up. Let's just call it that. And the reason why is because what I wanted to see, besides the plot or whatnot, you want to see these characters come together, man. These have been great characters. Well, 3 out of the 4, I'll say, are great characters. That you just wanted to see how these guys would interact with each other. We've seen hints of each individual show about the larger Netflix universe at hand, and you want to see, okay, how's Daredevil going to interact with Jessica Jones? Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, how are they going to react to this whole mystic thing that's going on with the hand and whatnot? Iron Fist, how's he fitting in with all this? And it really delivers on that stuff, man. For one, the banter between the group is fantastic. These are people who really just do not get along at all, even though they're not bad guys. They're fighting for good. But they all have very, very different personalities, very different goals, even though they are heroes. And it's just great to see that stuff, man. I mean, Jessica Jones, she really is, her personality really comes out in this show because she is just a straight up asshole, as she called herself a lot of times in Jessica Jones Season 1. But, that's who her character is. Her character has her own things going on, and that really comes out when she's in a team dynamic because she's someone who really does want to work solo. And I love the dynamic of her and Luke Cage because they really don't fit in with this whole mystic hand kung fu stuff that's going on, as they make a point to mention a lot of times in the show. And that stuff is great to see. Iron Fist was a character I just wasn't that big a fan of in his show, which premiered this past March. Just not really all that interesting character, wasn't written all that well, but he works a whole lot better in the team dynamic that we see in this show. Largely because he gets made fun of a lot. I mean, the thing that he always says going, I am the Iron Fist, and giving that speech all the time. I love how they crack jokes and stuff like that. And I love how he's sort of the eager kid of the group, man, because he's the one who actually does want this team. I'm saying, no, we got to come together and fight the hand and whatnot to really save New York and all that good stuff. So his character works really well in that sense, and he's much better written and really funny. So I enjoyed him. But the character who was still the absolute best is my personal favorite of the heroes is Daredevil, man. He's such a great, complex character, what he's going through. The thing that really differentiates him and why he's so interesting is the fact that out of all these heroes, he's the one that has the secret identity. And he's got to balance his personal life and his crime-fighting life and try not to have those things come in the crosshairs between each other. But each life comes into conflict, and he's got to make choices of, okay, what's really important to me? And I just love him, man. The actor, Charlie Cox, does such a great job playing Daredevil. And I'm just a sucker for the whole dynamic of a blind superhero, even though he's got some crazy other senses. That's that whole dynamic with him being blind is really cool. But besides that, just the character stuff and all the stuff he goes through is good as well. And all the other actors, Kristen Rittner, Jessica Jones, fantastic. Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, great. And Finn Jones, who I had some criticism for in Iron Fist season 1, he was definitely a whole lot more entertaining in this Defender series also. So glad to see that they improved on that character. So that's the major positive to me, was the character banter, the characters teaming up to fight the Hand. That stuff was great. Now we go, and I also thought that the series made a good use of the supporting characters from each show, just showing that this larger, well, not universe, but all these individual stories coming into crosshairs, like Daredevil's Foggy and Karen interacting with Misty from Luke Cage, and Trish from Jessica Jones coming in, and of course they made good use of Colleen from Iron Fist. That was good also. Now getting into the overall main plot of this show, or this of this story of this Defender series, which is of course the Hand. The Hand coming in, which is this mystic organization that we've seen some stuff from in Daredevil and especially in Iron Fist. And they're basically, what you know, they're coming in to take in New York, and they're led by a new villain, Alexandra, played by the great, phenomenal Sigourney Weaver. And she's coming in and she's using Daredevil's old flame, Elektra, who we saw die in season 2 of Daredevil. She's being resurrected and coming up to cause some terror. And you know, for me personally, I was never a big fan of the whole dynamic with the Hand and whatnot. To me, that's been the worst part of all of these Marvel shows, which is why I think I like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, those individual seasons, the most out of all these shows, which is because there was no Hand. To me, the Hand, it's really a whole bunch of convoluted stuff that is like, I'm not really crazy about that. And when you really get into the mythology of what goes on with the Hand in this show, that stuff I'm not crazy about either, personally. To me, it's just an opponent for the Defenders to fight in some really cool action scenes. And that's the purpose that they do serve. I think Sigourney Weaver was great as the villain. There were some complaints I had with her character as things went further along, but she was really, really good, as Sigourney Weaver always is. And the actress who plays Elektra, Elodie Young, I believe her name is. It's some crazy name. How do you pronounce it? She was great as well. She was good in Daredevil season 2, and she's good here also. So those two were good, even though I'm still not crazy about the Hand storyline. To me, it's there for the Defenders to fight, and that's fine. And the action scenes do deliver a lot of the time. A lot of good fist fights showing what each individual Defender is good at. As always, I'm still confused on what exactly Jessica Jones' specialty is. I'm not entirely sure how strong he is. All the other Defenders, you get a good sense of what their strength and power level and skills are. Jessica Jones, again, she is a little out of place with this whole kung fu stuff going on. But anyway, the action scenes were still really good. My only problem is that, especially later on, there were a lot of fights that took place in the dark. And it was really actually kind of hard to tell what was going on. It was a lot of quick cuts. The lighting didn't help. So some of the action scenes weren't as good as they could have been, mainly because they were just shot too darkly. But it wasn't too big of a problem because there was still plenty of good stuff. So overall, I do think this was a very effective team-up series, and one that I really enjoyed as a big fan of this Marvel Netflix universe. I think eight episodes was just the perfect length to go, because as much as I really enjoyed 4 out of the 5 previous series, 13 episodes, there were a lot of times where there was probably 1 or 2 episodes that did feel like filler, especially as you got later on into each season. This series, even though you're thinking, okay, Defenders, I want 13 episodes, and I want it as long as it can be, I think had they stretched this out, like if it had gone like maybe an episode or two more, it would have felt stretched out. 8 episodes was a really good length for them to use. Everything moved smoothly. The pacing was good. I don't think there personally weren't any filler episodes from what I experienced. Everything went along pretty good. The pacing was good and whatnot. And the final episode did deliver and did set up some good, very interesting dynamics for all of these characters moving forward in their individual seasons, not just for the heroes themselves, but some of the supporting characters. I'm really interested in now how Luke Cage season 2 is going to turn out, and Jessica Jones season 2, and of course Daredevil season 3. And hopefully they can turn things around and get Iron Fist up to snuff, because I really want that show to deliver and be as great as the other shows also. Just a complaint that I have now, not a complaint with the show, but just going forward, is that now the series is going to face the same issues that the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe is having now, in that, okay, now that we've seen these characters team up, when we go to each individual season, now you're not going to be able to help but think like, okay, going on with this issue, which are huge issues going on in New York, like, why the hell aren't they going to call their friends? I mean, obviously they worked pretty well together as a team, even though they're very different personalities. So when all this other crazy shit is going on in New York, why aren't they going to call and ask? Why isn't Daredevil going to call Luke and say, "Hey, I need your bulletproof ass over here and give me some help"? Or Jessica Jones and Luke, they're both really good friends. Why aren't they going to help each other? So that's going to be a problem going forward. But as for this show itself, very, very effective, or this little mini series, if you will. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Thought it was really fun, enjoyed it. It's not the best of these Netflix series, I don't think. I think for me personally, Jessica Jones was my favorite, then Luke Cage, then Daredevil season 1. I think this was a little bit better than Daredevil season 2, just because I think Daredevil season 2 sort of stumbled when it came to the hand stuff and some of the stuff towards the end of the series. There were some episodes that didn't really work all that well, sort of felt like filler. But of course, definitely better than Iron Fist season 1. So anyways, those are my thoughts on Marvel and Netflix The Defenders. Hope y'all enjoy this review. Leave your thoughts and tell me what y'all thought of it if you've seen it. And I will see y'all around with another video.